Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Michael Pena Sr. Show. Here, October 10th, 2018, and this is episode 84, and I'm your host, Michael Pena Sr. Sean O'Brien said, Teamsters at UPS overcame $1 million campaign of propaganda and scare tactics from not only that company, but from the leadership of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters as well. This was not only a victory for the Teamsters at UPS, but the entire American labor movement. And again, that's Sean O'Brien. He is the president of the local 25 Teamsters here in Boston, Massachusetts. And back when I was in Local 25, I remember him running and I remember voting for him. He'll back up the UPS Teamsters. He'll back up the Teamsters and do the right thing for the Teamsters. Today, we're going to talk about somebody who's not doing the right thing for the Teamsters, and that's James Hoffa. Okay. And before I get into that, first of all, I want to thank everybody for subscribing to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. Takes 2 seconds. Hit the like button, comment on the show. Let me know where you're from, what local you're from. And, we'll get some conversation going because we got to come together as Teamsters. But as I said, this is episode 84. So what I do, just for a lot of people that are new to my channel here, is I do a financial show. I try to help people. Okay, I'm a financial coach. That's what I do outside of UPS. But what I also do is talk about what's happening with me financially at the time. And right now, today, the biggest thing happening in my life financially is this contract negotiation that's going on with the Teamsters and UPS. And it's starting to piss me off. If you go back a couple of episodes, I talked about how no matter how the vote went, and we're going to talk about that vote, that I thought that everything was, it didn't matter. And unfortunately, I was right. Hoffa is trying to come up with what he's saying, something within the Teamster Constitution, that he doesn't have to honor our vote, that he can just go forward, without the vote meaning anything and just ratify the contract. We got to continue to have our voices heard because this is a bunch of bullshit. Hoff is supposed to represent us as Teamsters. All right. We know that he's got some kind of backroom deal going on with UPS upper management. And that's what Hoffa is. He's Teamster management. He's the president of our union who isn't even representing us in the right way. And if this goes through the wrong way, 100% we're going to vote this guy out. He's not even honoring the name that he has. I know his father did some crooked shit. But the thing is, he's still representative of the Teamsters. And Hoff is not doing the right thing to represent us, the Teamsters. All right. So before we get into that, and before we go further with that, this was a big vote. And we voted no. And we won. We won. So the biggest things that we need to get rid of, and UPS wants to go back to the table. I went to work yesterday and they're doing some damage control by handing out a little letter saying, that we understand that the Teamsters representation wants to go back to the negotiating table and they look forward to going back to the negotiating table. That was a letter handed out to all of us at work yesterday. Okay. But they got to eliminate the 22-4 driver job. All right. And just for guys that people that don't work at UPS, in the contract, Article 22 is about the full-time driver. And what they're trying to do is add a clause, 22.4, which would be a different classification of a driver who would get $7 an hour less than a regular full-time driver and would take over the weekend work from the regular drivers, which is completely and utterly unfair, which doesn't make any sense to me. It's got to be eliminated. They do need more package car drivers, and that's what they should add, is more full-time package car drivers under the Article 22, stipulations. That's number one. Number two, with everything going on with Amazon, and I've talked about the Amazon effect, Bernie Sanders, who I don't agree with anything that he does or says, wants to make sure that everybody, like Amazon, McDonald's, is paying $15 an hour. And guess what? They are. McDonald's, Amazon, they're raising their starting pay to $15 an hour. You can't get new talent in at UPS, right now, $11 an hour. And then they're saying $13 an hour. They got to start at $15 an hour. That's got to be the starting pay. All right. And number three, the bigger thing is they got to put more teeth into the grievance procedure. I filed 5 grievances for management working. Nothing came of it. All right. Like somebody said at work, why do you even bother? UPS has already won. We need to come together. We got to make sure they don't win. Management's not supposed to be doing, our work. And if they do our work, we file a grievance, we're supposed to get paid. Somebody's supposed to get paid. But the Teamsters are afraid. They seem to be afraid of UPS management. This is the time, again, like Sean O'Brien says, for the American labor movement. Because American labor movement is alive and well. I talk about whether or not you need to get your college education anymore. Kids are going to school coming out with this college debt that was it's incredible. $1.48 trillion of college debt out there. And the thing is, they're going to college for nothing that they're even using. You can go to UPS, become a UPS package car driver, make $100,000 a year, follow my plan as a financial coach, and you can 100% be a millionaire within 20 years. If that sounds good to you, you need to get in touch with me, CoachP2210@yahoo.com. But that's the truth, and that's a fact, okay? And the thing is, we can't let UPS take that away from us. We need to get the new talent in. We need to get these kids, and I get it. We got a great benefit package, an incredible benefit package. But the thing is, you can't get new people to work at UPS at $11, $13 an hour. You got to start it at $15 an hour. And then to keep them there, you can't be saying you're going to make $7 an hour than somebody else and do the same kind of work, and actually worse because you're working on the weekend. You can't do that. They're trying to, you call them commies. They're trying to separate. They're trying to divide from within. That's communism. All right. And I know that a lot of times I'll talk about socialism, whether or not Teamsters are kind of like a socialism type of, organization. It's communism what UPS is trying to do. They're trying to divide us from within. All right. And that's what communism does, divide and conquer. All right. And here goes the thing. If you want to get in touch with the Hoffa office, and we need to get in touch with Hoffa. We need to tell them that, listen, you're doing the wrong thing. We need to get back to the table. Be respectful. People that are working the phones are workers. They're in between. I've talked about the person in between before. Don't be disrespectful to them. But tell them how you feel. 202-624-6800. Tell them, guess what? We need to get back to that negotiating table. We got to make sure our grievances mean something. We got to make sure that the Teamsters mean something. And we need to come together. Not only as UPS Teamsters, but all Teamsters from across the country. And we got to make sure that the American labor movement, is alive and well. And we can't do it one person at a time. We got to do it 260,000 UPS Teamsters together strong. We got to do it with all of the Teamsters from all companies across the country strong. And we got to do it through social media. We got to do it like this. All right. Speak out. Get this to go viral. Talk to people. Let's make sure that everybody understands and everybody knows what we're all about. Because the thing is, we can't let big business and big companies take over, and say, we're going to pay you these low minimum wages, and then we can't even make a living. I feel bad for kids today. They can't even buy a house. They can't even get things that they need and want. All they are is laced with this debt. Hundreds and millions of dollars of debt out there. Trillions. Never mind millions, trillions. We don't need that in America. We need us to move forward. And this is a big part of it. If Hoffa's not going to listen to us, Hoffa's got to be voted out. All right? And we got to move forward with people like Sean O'Brien. Sean O'Brien, and I'll talk about him because I was at Local 25. I'm Local 653 right now. When I first started with the Teamsters, I was Local 25, and Sean O'Brien was just starting out. He's a business agent back in the early 90s when I first started out with the Teamsters. And I tell you what, he's moved up to Local 25 president. We need somebody like Sean O'Brien to move forward that's going to represent us as Teamsters, that's going to make sure that he does the right thing and gets to the negotiating table with UPS, with the pair of balls that is going to say, listen, we're not taking this stuff anymore. It's time for us to be able to go forward as Teamsters and back up Sean O'Brien, Local 25 president, because he's got it right. We can't be manipulated through scare tactics, whether it's from UPS or the Teamsters. All right? And we got to find those representation, the right representation that's going to back us and make sure we do this through social media and we're reaching out to the right people. All right? So listen, you know how it goes with me. I want to win, and I want you to win. So let's win together.